In today's video, we're going to set up the Weber Smokey Mountain to cook for about 6 hours. So a lot of times people ask how much charcoal to put in for your specific cook. And my answer is always put in more than you think, because if you run out early, it's going to be a bad day. So today we're going to put in what I roughly put in when I'm doing a 6-hour cook, which is something like a couple of steaks or some chicken thighs or something like that. Let's go ahead and get into today's setup. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to grab a charcoal chimney. Now, like anybody that watches me regularly knows, I prefer to use Kingsford Traditional, and the main reason is because of consistency. It's not like extremely better than one brand or another, but what I really like is that when I use it, I always get the same results. Now, in a charcoal chimney, you want to get about 12 briquettes in there. Any less, and it doesn't light really well, and any more, and it's kind of just a waste. So there's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're going to go with 13. It looks cool inside the chimney there. I'll go ahead and show you the close-up inside there and position it just a little better. Now, of course, you can light this with a haystack. You can just throw a haystack right in there or right on the ground and set this on top. But typically, I use my side burner on my propane grill. So I'll go set that over there, and then I'll be right back. 6 hours is about half of the charcoal ring full. And basically, what I like to do is pour some in there to get a base going, and then I'll go ahead and add some wood chunks. Now, the reason you want the base in there is so that way when I add the wood chunks, they'll hold up when I pour the rest in there. Now, there's kind of a pattern that I use to add the wood chunks, and I'll start by putting this one in, and it's kind of close to the center. And then I'll go over here and I'll move this one about 50% away from the center. And then I'll go over here and I'll move this one out to the edge. So the idea is that one wood chunk will be burning at a time. If you place them all in about the same part of the ring, then they would all burn at the same time. But I want one to burn near the beginning of the cooking process, one to burn near the middle of the cooking process, and one to burn near the end. Now again, it's not going to be perfect. This is not rocket science here. We're just doing what we do. So now I'm going to lay in a couple of handfuls right up next to the wood chunks, so that way I don't knock them over when I put more in there. It's really easy. All right. Now I've got that, and hopefully it'll stay positioned, but just don't dump it right on top of them, and then kind of add a little bit more. So what we're going for is about half full. And we want the center to be empty. So I'll just take a couple more handfuls around here, around the outside edges. All right, we need just a little more, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to dump it in now. So now you see it in there like that. What we need to do is we need to empty out the very center. Now that looks pretty good. What I want you to note here is that I have the center completely cleared out. So when we add our charcoal, it'll be able to land right in there in the middle, And something else to note is this one is exposed, but this one I kind of protected a little bit so it won't start right away. Let me go check on the charcoal chimney and I'll be right back. So I've got the charcoal chimney here and I'm gonna just go ahead and set it down right over where we're gonna load the charcoal for a second. It still needs another minute. I'm gonna pop a picture up here, and I took that right before I brought it over. Remember that I said that we put in 13 briquettes, and like I said, I need to put in about 12 or more to get a good light on it. If you're doing a large grill or something like that, you probably want to put in more briquettes than that. But if you're doing a smoker, you just need enough to get a good solid light. And I want this to go just a little bit more than what it is. I can take and sort through here and get the really good ones and toss them right in the middle. Let's go ahead and look at the close-up camera here so you can see inside there. We are so close. There's two ways to deal with these briquettes. I can just pour them in there, and if it were a regular grill, that's probably what I would do. But because we're doing with the smoker and I want to land them right in that middle hole, I'm going to use the tongs to put them in there. So let me grab those. Then I'll take the charcoal chimney. I'll get down here really close so that way I can see exactly what I'm doing. Make sure, because I knocked a couple of these over, that they're exactly the way I want them. And then I'm going to grab the best lit ones and put them right here in the center. And we certainly aren't going to waste any of these. We're going to use them all, but we want the ones that are really good right here in the middle because we want it to get going really good. So I want you to see here what I've done is that I've kind of filled the hole and piled them up just a little bit because I want them to all keep each other going and get a nice hot spot there. Now, in the past, I have used a lot of different blowers, like a yard blower. I had a small one that I used to use for this. And now what I usually do is I use an old hairdryer that I will stoke the fire up with. I'm gonna go grab that and I'll be right back. So this is just a generic hairdryer that my wife gave me that she no longer uses. And I've been putting it through the ringer for probably a year now. Now, before I do this, remember, right behind me is a fire extinguisher, and I always control the air intake. And when you turn the heating element off, you can pretty much hold your hand on the back of here and adjust how much airflow you get. So I'll give you an example really quick. It's on cool, and I'm gonna flip the switch here to low, and then I'll take my hand over the back and I'll adjust it just like that. Now I want to point out that this is going great and it's ready to go ahead and assemble the smoker. This amount of charcoal is roughly over 6 hours, and that will be perfect, especially if you control the temperature down into the 250, 275 max range. But at 225, it'll be great for at least that amount of time or even longer. Now I'm going to go ahead and put this together so that way I can do my next video. Thanks for watching.